Big, beautiful, innovative. These three words easily describe some of the most infamous and fascinating ships in the world. The RORO ship. Cars and passengers are loaded on board, ferried to their destinations, and able to roll right onto the road with little to no delays. Despite their nasty reputations, RORO ferries can be some of the safest, gentle giants in the world. Welcome to Fast Facts Friday. My name is Eleanor. Just a quick disclaimer for our younger audience before we dive in. This story may be disturbing to some, so viewer discretion is advised. Okay everyone, let's get into it. First of all, thank you so much to our member Howie B for this awesome suggestion. RORO ships can be absolutely massive, so today we are going to look at the 5 largest RORO ships in the world. Let's start with number 5, MV Endurance. MV Endurance is a vehicle carrier owned by American Roll-On Roll-Off Carrier, also called ARC. Endurance is the largest among their 11-ship fleet, with a carrying capacity of 48,214 deadweight tons and a gross tonnage of 71,560 tons. She is 868.1 feet long, has a beam of 105.94 feet wide, and a current draft of 24.93 feet deep. She can reach average speeds of 16.2 knots and a maximum speed of 20.3 knots. She was originally built as Taronga in 1996 by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, spanning 9 decks. She has 2 main ramps and a quarter ramp with an optimized control system of liftable and flexible decks for easier loading and unloading. She's also been used for transporting military vehicles, transporting more than 2,500 armored tanks and trucks to Afghanistan in 2017. That brings us to number 4, Century Highway Green of the K-Line. She is a fairly new vessel, having been built in 2021 at Todatsu Shipyard in Japan, a part of the Imabari Shipbuilding Company. This RORO ship is revolutionary, being powered by liquefied natural gas instead of heavy fuel oil, and is termed an environment-friendly ship, especially because of its innovative exhaust gas recirculation system that reduces carbon emissions by 25% and sulfur and nitrogen emissions by 85%. Her gross tonnage is 72,354 tons, and her summer deadweight tonnage is 16,578 tons. She is 656.17 feet long and has a beam of 124.67 feet wide. She can carry 7,080 cars at a time and reaches a service speed of 20 knots. She has 6 decks, and this includes the crew's living quarters, life-saving equipment, and other amenities. She also recently had Wi-Fi installed on the garage deck, engine room, generator, and fuel systems compartment, which I think is both awesome and kind of funny. There is a camera surveillance system on all decks at all time for security, and she is equipped with a unique system for detecting engine failure beforehand and preventing serious accidents, called a Class NK-CMAXS. Our third ship is of the Wallenius Wilhelmsen RORO fleet in Sweden, and she is MV Figaro. According to the Wallenius lines, she is classified as an LCTC, or large car truck carrier, capable of carrying 7,879 cars, or a combination of 432 buses and 3,508 cars. Her gross tonnage weighs in at 74,258 metric tons, with a deadweight tonnage of 30,900 metric tons at maximum draft. For length, she is 227.8 meters long, has a beam of 32.26 meters wide, and a draft of 10.3 meters by design, and a maximum draft of 11.3 meters deep. She spans 13 decks, 5 of which are movable. She was built in South Korea by Daewoo Shipbuilding and Marine Engineering in 2011, and she can reach average speeds of 16 knots and a maximum speed of 20 knots. I love that Wallenius Lines provides so much information on their ships. And I love giving information on ships as well. If you are enjoying this episode and want to hear more about ships, their careers, and their wrecks, check out our main show, Shipwreck Sunday, every Sunday night at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, it's time to get into the top 2. The next largest RORO ship is actually the largest short-sea RORO ship in the world, and this is MV Celine, owned by CLDN, a prominent RORO ship operating company in Luxembourg. She was built in 2018 in the Hyundai Mipo shipyard in South Korea, launched later that year. She's 771 feet long and has a beam of 114.83 feet wide. Her gross tonnage sits at 74,273 metric tons with a carrying capacity of 8,000 lane meters. A lane meter is defined as a strip of deck 1 meter long, and a lane is conventionally 2 meters wide. She has 5 decks, with 3 of them meant for storing trucks and 2 main ramps for accommodating lorries and cars. Her home ports are Rotterdam and Zeebrugge, carrying cargoes between these ports and to Dublin, Ireland. Before we get into our finalist, let's give our honorary mention, the largest RORO ferry in the world. The largest RoPax ferry in the world is MS Color Magic of the Color Line in Norway. She has a displacement of 75,100 gross tons and has a deadweight tonnage of 4,750 tons. She's 734 feet long, has a beam of 115 feet wide, and a draft of 22.3 feet deep. In total, she has the carrying capacity of 1,270 lane meters with room for 550 cars, and she has 1,016 passenger cabins with 2,975 passenger beds, rated for 2,600 passengers. She was launched in 2007, built by 2 separate Aker Finnyards shipyards in Finland. Currently, she runs services between her home port of Oslo, Norway, and Kiel, Germany, having been the largest RORO ferry in the world since her launch. And finally, we get into the largest RORO ship in the world, and she has been since 2012. It is another ship owned by Wallenius Wilhelmsen and built by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, and she is MV Tonsberg. She was launched in 2010 as part of the Mark V class of ships, being the 4th ship of her name and named after the Norwegian coastal town where Wilhelmsen was founded in 1861. She is a roll-on, roll-off ship that is 75,251 gross tons and has a deadweight tonnage of 41,820 deadweight tons. She is 869 feet in length, has a beam of 105.9 feet wide, and spans 6 fixed decks, with 3 hoistable decks. She has a cargo capacity of 4,900,000 cubic feet, as well as 5,990 20-foot equivalent units, which is a general unit of cargo capacity often used for container ships. She can reach average service speeds of 20.25 knots, and her hull form has been improved over the years, so she will use 15 to 20% less fuel per unit of cargo than her predecessors. Her safety innovations are incredible for RORO ships, including a completely watertight deck on Deck 5, and she is capable of transporting 6,004 cars along with cargo containers, making her not only the largest RORO ship in the world, but the largest CONRO ship in the world. RORO ships and ferries continue to go through innovations in safety and size, and over time they will only continue to get better. Despite their typically bad reputations, RORO ships can be incredibly safe and efficient, providing safe services for cargo and passengers everywhere. Thank you again to Howie B., one of our members, for this suggestion. If you liked that story and wanted to hear something similar, check out our cruise ships, ferries, and RORO ferries playlist in the cards. Stay tuned this Sunday for the story of MV Dyalla, a Senegalese government-owned RORO ferry that capsized and sank in 2002 with a massive loss of life. Thank you for tuning in to Fast Facts Friday. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you next time.